All right, so let's get right into creating this model where we have this subscription payment coming in. So what we want to do in here is essentially create inside our um, components folder, we want to create a subscription model. What I want to do in here is I want to create a subscription model named model.jsx. Inside this subscription model, we need to use some of the headless UI that comes with React. So what we want to go ahead and do is say import dialog, and it should come pre-installed, assuming you are using Breeze as your kit to start with. So we want to have dialog and transition imported. We want to import React with a fragment. We want to import later on a subscription form, which we're going to be creating. And we want to import elements. And in this case, we want to get this from Stripe /React Stripe.js. And we want to make sure we actually install this. So let's make sure we have that sorted as well. And we want to import load Stripe. So I'm just going to go ahead and import all of these here. And outside of that, what we need to do is have a const where we say Stripe promise. And in there, we need to say load Stripe. And we want to make sure that we install this. So I'm using PHP Storm to install it, but otherwise you just run npm install and copy this in here. In here, you want to put in your public key. You can put that in using either imported via env, or you can just put it in like you would normally. Outside of that, what we want to do obviously is have a component here. So export default function called subscription model. We want to have in an is open subscriptions plans, and we want to check on close. We want to return some data here, and then here we want to have a transition. We want to show when it is open as fragment, and then here we want to have a dialog as a div with a relative position and a set index of 10. So just like this, we want to have the onClose function provided in as well. And outside of that, we want some styling here. So we want to have a class here where it is fixed, insert 0, with a background color of black, opacity 25 for the background color. And this is where we have this overlay, where it basically has this overlay. So we want to put in area hidden to true for accessibility purposes. And then outside of that, in the div below, so we can actually just have this as a closed div because we don't need to have anything in here. We want to have a class with a fixed, insert 0, set 10, overflow y auto. And then in here, we want to have a div with a flex, minimum width, height for full, item centered, justify, center, and padding of 4 and text center. And then we want to have transition dot child as fragment. We want to enter using ease out and duration 300. We want to enter from opacity 0 and scale 95. We want to enter to opacity 100 and scale it to 100. And we want to leave from opacity 100 and scale 100. And we want to leave as well with a class here named is in duration 200. And we want to leave 2 opacity 0 on scale 95. And in here, we then want to have a dialog, a panel, which will have a class name of W full and max width, MD transform, overflow hidden, and we want to round it XL to and outside of that, we just need a background of white, a padding of 6, and a text to be left, align middle, shadow XL, transition all. And then outside of that, in here, we just want to have a dialog title and a few other things. So I'm going to copy and paste this in now. So we have this subscription form, which for now just going to leave out. And we take in the Stripe promise here. So in here, we'll have the Stripe payment form. And we just say subscription required, and we put in some text. That's basically it. And the subscription form, which we're going to be working on in a later video, will contain the Stripe card and the plans and everything we need. That would then be a reusable component we can use on multiple different pages. So with that sorted, let's head into our authenticated layout. Or actually, no, sorry, our authenticated layout. Let's head into our pages and create a paid JSX, which is just going to be a model always showing. So inside paid.jsx, all we really need is just a quick page like this. We need nothing more special than this. And then we just need to make sure we show this page in here. So I'm going to go ahead and create a pay controller. Where you get invocable. And I'm going to go ahead and say inside the authentication group here, I'm just going to go ahead and say root add /pay. And we're going to pass in the pay controller class name pay. And import this class. In here, we just want to return inertia. We want to render pay. And on top of that, let's just make sure we have this set here so we have an inertia response. So work neatly there. Let's go back in here to /pay now. Make sure we log in. And also create a user. So I forgot we didn't create a user in the last video. And I'm going to put in my email, put in a random password. Right now we're getting an error, and that's because it's trying to redirect us to the dashboard. So let's quickly go ahead and fix that. So that would be inside the register controller, basically. In here, we'll redirect to the dashboard. So we just want to redirect to route named home. All right, so with that sorted, let's try to head to /pay. We're getting an error. All right, so if we go back into our subscription model, the JSX. Just want to make sure we install everything here. Let's head back into our application here and see what happens then. And we get this model here. So we will fix the height in a later video. For now, I'm just going to leave you with this. And that's all for this video. So thank you very much for watching it, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.